Once again, welcome everyone to our live webinar for purchase order functionality. My name is Alina and I am in charge of the customer success team at Prokuria. I know you all have very busy schedules, so thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. A few housekeeping items before we get started. My colleague Eugene and I will share with you today how Prokuria can help with the purchase order and the advantages of using a PO software. This should take us about 25 minutes, and at the end of the presentation, we'll have a Q&A session for 5 minutes. Please feel free to ask questions through the chat at any point during the presentation. We will respond in the final part of the webinar, the Q&A session. If we'll not manage to address all your questions today, we'll make sure to come back by email. Also, we will get back to everyone with a recording of the webinar. Feel free to rewatch it, get back to us with questions, or share it with your colleagues. So this being covered, we are ready to start the presentation. Eugene, you can take over from here.
Thank you very much, Alina. Hello, everyone. My name is Eugene, and I'm a business development manager at Prokuria. First of all, thank you all very much for taking the time to join our webinar. We hope that you will find the information useful and helpful for your sourcing needs going further. If you joined this demo, you're probably starting to notice that organizing your sourcing events or your supplier database just with emails and Excel files isn't good enough or efficient anymore. Maybe you're looking for a system to help you stay on top of everything. Well, that's what Prokuria is. It's a cloud-based platform used for automating sourcing and supplier management. And today we will focus on a very important subject related to the procurement process, which is the purchase order. Now let's go through the agenda of today's webinar, and I will shortly share my screen. So basically we will start with a short introduction, which I just did. After that we will discuss about the purchase order software, what exactly it is, what are its key features and the benefits. After that we will discuss the advantages of using a PO software versus a PDF PO. Next, what is an interactive PO and how do suppliers interact with the PO? And finally, we will have a Q&A session. And right now, let's discuss about the purchase order software. Basically, a purchase order software is a system used to manage purchase orders. It allows businesses of all sizes to automate the process of creating and processing purchase orders, eliminate manual errors, and reduce administrative work such as order entry, invoice matching, and payments. A PO software is used to enter the details of a purchase order, track it through each stage of the process, and ensure an efficient approval cycle, saving time for your team by avoiding duplicate data entry, plus providing additional business intelligence features so we can make smarter decisions. You spend hours every day managing your company's purchases, but with a cloud-based PO software system, you can automate every step of this process, making it easier for you to move quickly through your day with less stress while keeping accurate records at each stage. You'll be able to create purchase orders, or POs, transmit them for approval, and track how they are sent to suppliers and how the suppliers interact with the PO. Cloud-based purchase order software is a game changer for any organization that purchases goods. The automation of the entire process from start to finish will help you create better contracts and stay organized, ensuring accuracy when it comes to crunching out an invoice or PO with all the necessary information such as price tags attached. A variety of features are available depending on which type and brand you choose, so do some research before committing. Now that we've seen what exactly is a purchase order, now let's move forward and see let's see the key features. So first of all, when we talk about key features, we talk about the fast implementation. When choosing a PO software, you will want to find something that can be implemented quickly, so users are up to date with the system in a short amount of time. Look for options that allow your team to test, integrate, and train as much as they need before going live with the system, so there are no surprises when using it. The second one is a customer-centric interface. A purchase order software should be customer-centric, meaning that it allows multiple users to look at data simultaneously without overwriting any changes. Also, when the latest information is added to one location, all other areas of the system are automatically updated, so everyone has access to the most recent version of the data. Next on the list, integration. Purchasing is just one piece of the business puzzle, so you will need a system that integrates with the tools your employees are already using. This way, employees do not have to use multiple pieces of software to achieve their job duties, which can help organize everyone in the company more quickly and easily. Next, we have cloud-based storage. A PO software should be able to keep all your POs in a cloud-based storage space. This will ensure that no matter what happens, your purchase orders will not disappear and files will always be there when you need them. Another benefit is the ease of remote file access. You can easily access and share these documents from anywhere with an internet connection thanks to the cloud storing functionality. Automated workflows. A PO software should be able to do the legwork for you. Make sure that the PO software you choose includes automated workflows and tasks to help save time and create a seamless process. Setting up custom flows should be easy as well. You can route requests based on certain fields, which will include automating approvals that may have taken over in your system before. After setting these things up, they will flow automatically from one area into another. As such, a PO software with automated workflows can make your life much easier. Next, we have customizable forms. You should look for a PO software system that allows you to fully customize the fields in which you collect data. This way, if different departments require different information from suppliers, this requirement can be added to the custom forms. This will ensure that you have all the necessary information at hand when making a purchase order request. It is important to be able to customize PO forms because this builds a trusted relationship with vendors. And last but not least, the Speedy approvals. Make sure your PO management software offers speedy approval workflows so that your business stays productive. You will be able to automatically route incoming PO requests based on different department managers, so the approval workflow is handed over to the respective agency as soon as possible. This means no delays in receiving or sending out PO requests due to missteps and the streamlined process for all parties involved. Now that we've covered the key features of a PO software, now let's see which are the main benefits. And we have three main benefits. The first one is streamlining the business processes. One of the main benefits of a PO software is that it eliminates wasteful paperwork and processes which can help your company cut costs. The second one is increasing productivity. With the PO software, there is no more waiting around for deliveries or battling with stacks of paperwork to locate a specific document. The system provides real-time data for faster processing of information, which results in higher productivity levels. All you need to do is log into your account from anywhere with internet access and manage all facets of your business without even leaving your desk. And last but not least, the lower costs. One of the biggest benefits actually of using a PO software is lowering the costs. The software works in real time, which allows you to easily locate orders, compare pricing, and access records anytime. By doing these tasks manually, you will be wasting resources since there will likely always be some lag time between when orders were placed and when they were processed. Once orders are entered into your business's PO system, they are immediately accessible by all employees connected to the network, which means no more wasted man-hours searching for needed data. Now that we've covered also the benefits of a PO software and we've discussed about the PO software, now let's go to the next section of our webinar, which is the advantages of using a PO software versus a PDF PO. First of all, let's start with the PDF PO, which looks like this. Basically, here we have the information. Just a second. We see here, let's say, an example of a PO. We have the company name, some details regarding the PO, the supplier to whom we are addressing this order, delivery address, and here will be the items that obviously we as buyers want to order. As we can see, everything here is non-editable. What happens in the best case scenario is that you send this PO to the supplier via email, the supplier replies with an invoice, and everyone is happy. However, as we all know, there are a lot of issues that can arise. Imagine the supplier doesn't have all the products. He sends you an email informing you of this, you resend the PO, and it becomes harder and harder to keep track of the entire process. In conclusion, this is a time-consuming manual process which can be avoided with a PO software. Now let's go to our platform and see how POs are handled in Prokuria. So let's go to the platform. First of all, for everyone who hasn't seen Prokuria so far, this is the main dashboard, and for the purpose of this webinar, we will go directly to the PO module. And this is the PO directory where we organize and keep all our purchase orders. All this view here, this view is fully customizable. We can sort, filter by different criteria. We can add or delete these columns. We can make them smaller, or we can make it however we want it. And let's suppose that we want to add some other columns. For example, I want to have here also the delivery date. It's very easy to customize this view. I will simply make this. I will simply show the field, and I can make it so that I can see it, or if I don't. So for example, if I want to let's say delete it, now we won't have the delivery date here anymore. And if you want to put it again, what will happen is I will simply need to click here, choose a place where to put it, and it will appear here. So it's very easy to customize this view. And also, as I was saying, we can sort, filter, and search here. Let's suppose we're looking for a PO regarding heating system supplies, we can search directly for the name. So let's say we are searching here for heating. We will find this. We will find the PO here. Or let's say that we know the supplier to whom we have addressed this PO. We can filter here by all of the suppliers' POs. So as I said, it's very easy to search here and find whatever you are looking for, and to customize this view as well. And now let's just simply start a new PO from scratch, and I will guide you through each of its sections. Basically, in the summary section, we will have, first of all, we'll have a name for this PO. Let's suppose we're a company that wants to order some office supplies from one of its suppliers. So we will put here a name. The status will be automatically in draft at the beginning. We see who it has been created by. We can also assign an owner, so the person who will be responsible for this PO. We will also select the supplier and a contact from that particular supplier. On the additional fields section, we have here a delivery date and payment terms. These are custom fields that were added specifically for this account, so here we can add whatever fields you require. We know that each company is different and each one is using their own fields and terminology. So, for example, let's suppose that your company has more than one delivery location. This is very easy for me to add. I have already prepared this field. I will simply make it visible on my PO, and just like this, we will see in the additional fields that I also have a delivery location, which is a drop-down list, and I can select from here whichever location I want, and I can also complete the other fields. Now let's go to the next section, which is the PO items. In order to add the items that we want to order through this PO, we can add them either one by one. We can complete all this information here, or we can add them from a file, which I will show you how it works. Basically, we will download an Excel template, we will fill it in and simply upload it back, and all the items will appear. Or we can also add, as we will do right now, we will add the items from a catalog. From here, I can add whatever, let's say, columns I require, or whatever criteria. I will simply sort by office supplies, and I will simply select whatever information I want. Let's say I want these three items. And now, since the information has automatically been imported from the catalog, what I will need to do is simply put some quantities for each of the items. And after that, we will go on to the next section of the PO. Let's say that I'm creating this PO. I'm putting some quantities, and after that, after we have the items, we will have the invoice section. Invoices are used later in the cycle, so we will explain this when we get there. Once we have all this information, we have also devised a very basic approval flow. Basically, in order to send this PO to approval, we will click on this button, send to approval, and we will see exactly what happens. So, first of all, what will happen is the status will change to pending approval, and a notification will be sent to an approver, which looks like this. It's an email which can be customized and can be customized according to your needs. The approval will access the link. After that, he will arrive in this view. The approver can, let's say, he can review all the information, can modify some quantities. For example, let's say that I want to modify the quantity here, and after I modify this quantity, what I can do is, as an approver, maybe I want to inform also someone of this change. And what I can do in the comment section, I can start an internal thread with other, let's say, stakeholders, other users of Prokuria. The comment section will not be available to the suppliers. And what I will do is I will simply tag one of my colleagues. I will tag my colleague Alina, and I will inform her of this. I will inform her of the change, and I will ask her to confirm these changes. What will happen now is my colleague Alina will receive an email notification in which she will be informed that she has received a message here, and she is prompted to reply. And after that, she will come here and reply, and we will have all the information in one simple thread. And after everything has been, let's say, after the approver has made all the necessary changes, what will happen is we can approve this information. So now we will simply go and approve, and we will see what happens in this stage. Basically, the status will change to approved, and again, an email notification will be sent to the person that has created the PO, informing him that the PO has been approved. So after the approval is received and the stakeholders are aligned, we can send the PO to the supplier.
Eugene, first, before sending the PO to supplier,
yes,
I'd like to take a look to the audit log,
okay.
and I will add some details here. This log records all the stakeholders' actions on the PO. As you can see, we know exactly the date and time for creating the PO. We know the approval date and the name of the buyer. So this audit log section is really valuable to ensure a clear audit track for each order you place through Prokuria.
Thank you very much, Alina, for the clarification. I think now it's safe to say that we can go to the next stage of our webinar, which is what is an interactive PO and how do suppliers interact with the PO. So going back to our PO, what we will do in order to send the PO to the supplier, we will click on this button, send PO to supplier, and we'll see exactly what happens on the supplier side. Basically, the supplier will receive an email notification, which I will show you shortly. This is the email notification that the supplier will receive. All the supplier needs to do here is click on this button, on the View PO button, and we will see exactly what will happen. So the supplier is redirected to our PO.
Eugene, please let's take a moment and pause here. I'd like to explain the difference between the PDF PO and this interactive PO that you are showing.
Sure.
Okay. As we can all see, this PO is a web page accessible only through a secure link, and only the suppliers and only this specific supplier has access to this page. Using a PDF PO, suppliers will only be able to take a look at it, reply in an email, or call the buyer for any mention. Here in Prokuria, suppliers can see all the PO details. Also, they can add their own comments around the PO, or about the payment terms, or about the invoice. Also, the supplier can start a conversation with the buyer directly from this page by clicking the message icon on the right. So this is the main difference between using the PDF PO and this interactive PO. And next, Eugene, you can show us how all these functionalities work in Prokuria.
Thank you, Alina. So basically, the supplier will receive this PO. He will have access to all this information. So basically, he will see all the info regarding the PO. He will see the items that have been ordered, and after that, after reviewing the PO, basically what we can do, we will have two scenarios. So we can work with this invoices section. In the first scenario, the supplier has all the products and needs to send the buyer the invoice, which obviously can be sent also via email, but much better you can upload it here. So what we will do is we will add an invoice as a supplier. We will add an invoice here. So I will simply add an invoice, and what we can do, we can also add some supplier notes here. And for example, I would like to inform the buyer that an advance payment is required. So after the supplier saves this record here, what will happen is if we go back on the buyer side, so I'm now back on the buyer side, we will see in real time that the invoice has already appeared here. So let's suppose that the supplier sends the invoice via email, for example. What we can do as buyers is we can add the invoice here ourselves. And now let's take I'm going back on the supplier side. Let's suppose that the supplier doesn't have the full quantity, and he needs to write us a message and inform us of this. As Alina said, we have this messages functionality. We will simply add a new message. We will put a message subject. informing the buyer that he cannot deliver the entire quantity. I will simply let the buyer know that I will deliver. I myself as a supplier will deliver some items at a later date. I can also attach whatever documentation is relevant for this, and I will ask the buyer to confirm. And once the message is sent, if you go back on the buyer side, what will happen is basically in the message center here, we will see the message from the supplier. We can enter here, and we will see the message from the supplier. And again, we can start an internal thread with other users of Prokuria to solve with other stakeholders, basically to solve the issue of the supplier. And after that, we can simply respond. I will simply confirm this information to the supplier. And if we go back here on the supplier side, again, in the message center, this will be, let's say, we will see the message in real time. Of course, we can organize all our POs and invoices in a dashboard, obtaining elaborate reports, but this will be covered in a future webinar, so please stay tuned. By the way, this has been just a very simple example of a PO. You can add your own items, invoice modules, approval flows based on amounts, for example. So for certain amounts, you will get some approvals will need to approve, for some amounts, some others. So everything is fully customizable to suit your own needs. And now I think we can go to the last section of our webinar, which is the Q&A section. However, just before the Q&A, I would like to let you know that in order to test and experience what we've just shown you and more, we have a 2-week free trial that you can access on our site, prokuria.com. You just click on Start Free Trial, no credit card required. You simply test the platform, see if it's a fit for you, and if you want to go more in-depth or have any questions, we can schedule another demo with you and your team. Simply contact us via the contact form on our website, and we'll be in touch. Now, Alina, let's see what questions we have from the audience.
Thank you, Eugene, for the excellent presentation and for showing us how the purchase order works in Prokuria. We have some really interesting questions addressed. First one, how do I add my own catalog in your system? If you can just share your screen and example that.
Yes, definitely. So that's a great question. How we approach this is basically we create a section here in the menu. We have it called products. However, you can obviously we can name it however you want. We will define all of these columns that you need. For example, here we have some categories, subcategories, owners, unit of measure, and so on. We already have an example of a catalog. But we can design it however you require. In order to add new items, we can add them one by one, or even simpler, we can make an import. We will simply download an Excel template. We fill it in with all the information, and then simply re-upload it here. And this is how you create your own catalogs. It's very easy, and we will definitely help you with this when you start your own catalog. I hope this has been enough for the answer.
Yes, it's great. Thank you. A second one, it's related to the PO and the RFQ in Prokuria. And it goes like this. Can I populate the item in the PO, choosing those I want from a previous RFQ? So I'll start to explain how the flow can be set in Prokuria, and maybe Eugene can show us an RFQ. The request for quotation, it's one of the main events that you can run by using Prokuria. So once you run your event in Prokuria, you receive quotes from your prices from your suppliers. And what we can do exactly, this is the page of a request for quotation. It's an example for an office furniture event. Once you have this event ended and you have the suppliers and you have the quotation and you want to start sending out your POs, we can customize for your specific account, for your company, to add flow on your account, and you'll have also the option to add the items you need directly from this page into the PO. So in order to answer to this question, yes, we can do this. We do custom setup or custom flows for each account, and we accommodate this kind of request in order for the buyers to run also purchasing events and then to continue with the PO towards the suppliers. Okay. Another question, Eugene. All
Sure.
my suppliers are in our ERP. Can I import them in Prokuria?
Okay, so yes, definitely we can import all your suppliers in Prokuria. It's actually let's say one of the first things that you should do when starting an account in Prokuria, regardless of what you will be doing. Either supplier relationship management, either you do a requisition, a PO, or only sourcing events. That would, let's say, be the first step to let's say import your supplier database, be them in an Excel, or as in this situation, Nadia, in an ERP. Let me show you how this can be done. So in the supplier section here, we have what is called, this is just a very basic example of a supplier directory. So this is how we can organize, let's say, the suppliers. And in order to add them, we can add them. I will just give you some examples. You can add them one by one by clicking on this button, Add Supplier, and there is a lot of information that you can have access to here in Prokuria. Or let me go back to the supplier directory. Or what we can do is we can import. We have an import with Excel functionality. We will simply download the template, an Excel template. You just fill in that template and upload it here, and all your suppliers will automatically be populated. So it's very easy to let's say import all your suppliers from the ERP. We also have, as Prokuria supports API connectivity, we can also link, let's say, we can link your ERP to Prokuria through API connectivity. However, this is, let's say, a more technical discussion and maybe one of the subjects of a later webinar, let's say.
Thank you. Great. And we'll have another question. Where are the prices mentioned in the PO? And to start answering to this question, I think it will be useful to open a PO, yes, and explain a little bit about how we can customize the structure of the columns.
Definitely. So as we said, this is just a very basic example of a PO, just for you to understand its functionality. And let's say we focus more on the interactive side of the PO, in the sense that POs are let's say it's a web page. It's fully customizable. It's fully interactive. However, what we can do, for example, in the PO items here, we can add whatever fields are required. So, for example, we can also add a price field. It's very easy to do so, and let's say this is one of the ways in which we can add here. We can also add whatever other fields are required. We can also make some, let's say, if you want to see the delivery dates of each of the items, that can also be here a field. So as with prices, as with any other fields, they can be customized and added here in the PO items section. Or even in the invoices, if this is something that you would like to have, like in the invoice section, so you can compare, let's say, the prices from, let's say, an order to the prices on the invoice. So we can do it however you require and according to your flow. I hope this has answered the question.
Okay, thank you. And one last question. Can you enroll as much vendors as you wish? Is there a fee per each vendor touching the system?
That's also an excellent question. The answer is that yes, you can enroll as many vendors as you wish. There's no fee per each vendor. Also in Prokuria, we have no supplier portal. No, not even for sourcing events or for POs. As you've seen in the case of the PO, we simply send a link to the supplier, and the supplier will access that secure link. It will be only to him. It's encrypted. So let's say that there is no, as I said, there's no supplier portal, and there is no fee. So feel free to import your entire database in Prokuria and start using the platform with sourcing events, POs, and everything that you require.
Thank you. I'll have one mention here. Related to the PO and the supplier directory, there's no limit when importing and bringing your data into Prokuria. We do have a limit when it comes to launching sourcing events through Prokuria, and depending on the type of licenses that you purchase, we have there for the first license that you can purchase, we have a limit of 50 suppliers, but it's only related to an RFQ that we publish towards the suppliers. But when it comes to the PO and sending PO to suppliers, as Eugene mentioned, we don't have any limit here. Okay. We have some other questions as well. We will make sure to come back to each of you by email. We thank you very much for addressing all these great questions. So I think this concludes our webinar. I hope you find it useful. Again, thank you everyone for joining the webinar and taking the time to be with us. We will send you the recording and hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.